How and when should you harvest your sugar snap peas from the vine? That's the question that we're gonna answer in today's video. I got my pruners, I got my bowl, I got my sugar snap peas. So let's do it. Welcome to the Gardenary channel. Garden plus ordinary equals Gardenary. So whether you're a beginner gardener or a garden pro ready to start your own garden coach business, or somewhere in between, Gardenary is the place to hang out with me. So make sure you subscribe to the Gardenary channel, hit the little bell so you get a notification every time we drop a new video, and stay tuned because we got tons of garden inspiration and instruction coming your way this season. All right, today I'm gonna be harvesting from my sugar snap peas. Now, I wanna give you a little background on sugar snaps before we start to harvest. So sugar snaps are in the legume family or the Fabaceae family, something like that. You can read all about it in my book, Kitchen Garden Revival. So sugar snaps are in the bean family, and unique to them, they actually grow in the cooler seasons. So these can be planted even before the threat of frost has passed. So I actually put the seeds for these peas in the ground all the way back in March when we still had really 2 months of a frost threat here in the Chicago area. So that's super fun. Long before you can get beans out of the garden, you can get peas. Now, if you haven't listened to the Grow Yourself podcast, I did a whole episode dedicated to these little babies. It's called Oh Snap, the surprising story of the sugar snap pea. So the sugar snap is actually like a, what's the word? It's like a hybrid. Like this farmer created it in like the 80s, I think. So he took a normal garden pea, you know, the shelling type pea, and he took a snow pea, like the Chinese Oregon snow pea, Chinese Oregon, those don't go together. Like the Chinese snow pea, he put them together and created the sugar snap. So if you've ever had a snow pea, you know, snow peas have like a flatter pod, and sugar snaps have a more like, you know, what's that called? Like rounded pod, right? So he combined those two plants and bred them together, and boom, we got the sugar snap pea. And I like to say to that guy, thank you so much, because this is like one of my favorite vegetables. You guys too? So the first tip actually to harvest from your sugar snaps is to harvest early and often. So oftentimes we want this like gorgeous look, right? Where you've got all the sugar snaps here on the vine. But actually, you want to be picking them often, because the more that your vine is holding on to these peas, the less it's going to be pushing forward and producing more. Now, there are two types of sugar snap pea plants. You can either grow them as a bush or as a vine. And in general, I think before like commercial farming started, all things were grown more like a vine, but commercial farmers developed bush plants so that they would grow smaller, be easier to maintain, and be harvested all at once. I prefer growing vining types. Number one, because I love growing them up a trellis, but also I find I get more production over a longer period of time. And generally speaking, now not everyone agrees on this, I think the vining type tastes better. But the trick to keeping your vining plants producing over time is to harvest from them early and often. So say it with me, early and often. So really almost every day you want to come out, have your bowl, have your pruners, and then we're going to start at the base of the plant and slowly harvest up. So sometimes what's going to keep you from doing this is you're going to think, well, I don't have enough peas to make a whole dish, right? But what you want to do is get those peas off of your plant so that they will produce more, so you can actually put together a dish. So you can just take these, bring them into inside. I actually recommend not washing them right away, just putting them dry into the fridge, holding them there. Excuse me, I have pea in my throat. Not, you know, sugar snap pea. And putting them in the fridge and then waiting until you harvest a few more to get a complete dish. Now, even though it's super tempting to snap these off with your fingers like this, and you can do that, but I will say that a couple times when I've done it by my hand, I have ended up breaking the vine entirely, which is a total, really big bummer. So instead, I love to come out with pruners, come in right above the pea node, and just cut just like that. If you're involving kids in your harvesting, you definitely want to give them a little pair of scissors and not let them pull with their hands, because in general, they're probably going to pull with just one hand and they might rip your whole vine out at the same time. Not that I've had experience with that or anything. So that's really all there is to it. Now, one last thing I want to tell you about sugar snaps, which is so fun, is that these are what the French like to call mange tout, which means eat it all. So the super great thing about sugar snaps, let's say we finish up the season here and I haven't gotten nearly the amount of production I wanted off of these plants, or I'm just kind of sad to see it go. The really cool thing to know about your sugar snaps is every single part of the plant is edible. So the leaves are edible, the stems are edible, and of course the entirety of the pea is edible. So the pods and the casing. So unlike traditional garden peas where you had to shell them and then you just eat the seeds inside, with sugar snaps you get to eat all of this, all the leaves, and all the stems. One of my favorite dishes is just to cut a ton of pea shoots, stir fry them up really quickly, and some oil and salt, maybe a little bit of vinegar. It's like the best garden to table meal, and you don't even have to wait for the peas to produce to make it. So whenever you're planting sugar snap peas, you can just say mange tout and you're gonna feel so gourmet. All right, so those are the main tips to make sure you get tons of peas from your sugar snap pea vine. I hope this encourages you to go for it. If you're about to hit a cooler season, if you're looking toward fall or toward spring, peas are a wonderful addition to your garden, and all you gotta do is plant some seeds right along a trellis, and pretty soon you're gonna be harvesting peas just like this in maybe, I don't know, 50, 60 days from planting. All right, happy eating, mange tout. I'll see you next time in the next video. By the way, if you're wondering where you should get started in your own garden, I'd love for you to take the Green Thumb quiz. We developed the quiz to show you where we think you are in your garden skills at the moment, and then give you free resources to bring you to the next level. So check out the Green Thumb quiz right below this video, and we will see you in the garden. Thanks for watching.